two that I think could say they're winning are Russia and Israel. Now, they might be the two countries that most of our listeners would not really like to be winning at the moment. Israel because of what they've done in Gaza, Russia for what they're doing in Ukraine. You said, was it a couple of years ago, I think, you first outed the idea that maybe we have to face the fact or a horrible truth that Trump is actually genuinely on Putin's side. Is it impossible that the whole purpose of this has actually been to get Russian oil supplies flowing again? Just think about it. They go after Iran. Iran is a major oil supplier whose supplies suddenly it's a lot harder to get out. And Iran then reacts. This is maybe giving Trump too much credit, given we actually say he doesn't think through the next step. Iran then does what it does in the Straits of Hormuz, and the oil price goes rocketing. Putin suddenly is shipping out oil left, right, and center. And Trump, this is incredible when you think about it. It wasn't even seen as a big thing. He lifts sanctions on Russia and Belarus and Iran. What he can do with the Putin thing, the reason why it wasn't screaming headlines, is because he can argue this isn't about a sort of geopolitical gift to my friend Vladimir. It's a case of market stabilization to keep the world economy going.
It's completely amazing. So I'm not.
Is that a conspiracy theory?
I'm not buying into your full conspiracy,
okay.
But I think where you're completely right is the reason why we're tempted to it.
I'm trying to find a reason.
Well, there's no doubt he's helping Russia, whether his intention is to help Russia, but you're completely right. Russia is getting billions of dollars of extra revenue, which it desperately needs to keep its war machine going.
Yeah.
The number one defense of Trump on Ukraine was that he was putting pressure on the oil price, keeping down the oil. It's a double whammy. It's sanctions lifted and the oil price has shot up above $100 a barrel. So Russia's making out like a bandit. And the defense of Trump was, look, you can say what you want. Okay, he's not supporting the Ukraine war financially, but at least unlike those cowardly Europeans, he's putting pressure on Russian oil, and that's what really matters.
Which he wasn't.
So anyway, that's all gone out the window. In addition, he is spending like a drunken sailor the Patriot missiles and all the defense equipment that could be used to protect Ukraine against Russia. Now, President Zelensky is getting a lot of credit for turning up in the Gulf saying, I'm providing Ukrainian defense and systems.
And Trump is very dismissive of it.
Yeah, I would also be very cautious of that because, in fact, the problem is Ukraine is going to be in a much, much weaker position and it needs those systems domestically. Russia will be stronger. There will be fewer of these systems around, and that puts it in a much more vulnerable position.
But that's the other means by which it helps Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, Russia is the clear winner out of this. And it's almost, it is always worth asking that question when these big international crises happen. Who is benefiting?